At this point, it looks like Avowed is fully run by a bunch of DEI self-hating losers.
Another whistleblower has come forward from Obsidian Entertainment, providing me with some actual screenshots of internal dialogue and conversations from Matt Hansen. And these screenshots that have been provided to me completely expose not just the toxic environment of Obsidian Entertainment currently.
By the way, I talked about this. We, as always, were completely right, and we predicted this. Because, again, I have experience in large businesses. I'm a business analyst by literal trade, and I talked about this. There is no such thing, no such situation where you can have your art director come out, say all of this insane stuff, and expect it to just be confined to the singular person, the art director. No, it goes fully down in all of the art department minimum. And if the company does not reprimand them or flat out honestly fire them, most likely everyone in the company agrees with this methodology. That is the reality of business. You cannot, in a business, you cannot have one bad thing happen in the department on this scale and it not being a complete and total representation of everything that's happening in the business. It almost never happens. And so, as always, boys, we were right. We called it. Pat yourselves on the back because I know it must get exhausting being this right all the time.
But how Matt Hansen himself is actively encouraging it and making it worse. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. This is now the third different person associated with Obsidian Entertainment.
And also, this could be potentially the end of Obsidian. The same way that Ubisoft currently is speculated to be sold off for parts. Also, by the way, a thing that we completely predicted. Because again, you can't be Ubisoft and down the bucket 1.2 billion this year potentially in losses and not be looking to be sold off for parts and IPs. Ubisoft is dead, and Obsidian has never been such a large studio. Yeah, Obsidian most likely is also gonna be at least completely dead from its previous form after Avowed is unveiled. Because other than Avowed, what has Obsidian done? Nothing. Nothing of success. Their last notable success was Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, not looking good for them. And Avowed is going to be an absolute disaster, obviously. You look at the characters, you look at everything, it's going to be bad. We have seen and analyzed the conversations between NPCs. The game is painfully made with the idea that players are autistic in mind and can't put 1 + 1 together. And yeah, it's good. Obsidian is dead. Avowed officially most likely will be the final nail that kills Obsidian.
Reaching out to me. Like a one-off would be like, oh wow, okay, we got a whistleblower here. This is becoming like almost a daily trend where someone who works at Obsidian has had enough of the BS that they've been shoving down everyone's throat and they want change to happen. JT. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and
not gonna happen. The game industry as a whole is in an extremely interesting position, I would say. It's a relatively new industry, and and I think this is a huge problem for the gaming industry. It got started by a bunch of bullied kids, a bunch of misfits, a bunch of people who were really passionate about something and their hobbies, and they wanted to make games. And then that really quickly expanded to a massive thing, and then corporate just literally came in and kind of swallowed it up. And now it is all kind of crystallizing because clearly game companies run by corporate don't work. They're all just destroying themselves. Ubisoft, BioWare, almost anything connected to Xbox, Bethesda, Blizzard, even to a huge degree. I think the downfall of Blizzard is going to be monumental when it starts, because again, Diablo 4, objective failure. The War Within, objective failure. Blizzard cannot keep under wraps the amount of failures they have. And that failure is player attention. They are not retaining players. They are not getting new players to play their games. And, Marvel Rivals also came out. And the downfall of Blizzard when it starts, it's going to be monumental. I think it could take like a year or maybe even 5 to start. But Blizzard, the moment they run out of enough of a mass of players to sell their $90 Longboy mounts to, it's over. It is gonna be over. Okay. Then shorting Blizzard is gonna be the greatest decision anyone has ever made in their life, and that finally happens.
And check out smashjt.com for the full and extremely exhaustive article going through not just these screenshots, but additional information I've been told from other whistleblowers about Matt Hansen and his job security situation going on at Obsidian right now, because this is getting insane. A whistleblower with internal information from Obsidian Entertainment has come forward with shocking screenshots and Slack messages from Matt Hansen.
Are all bald people evil, or being evil makes you bald? What a question.
Completely exposing the company's internal toxic culture. This brave individual reached out to me with a burner email to protect their identity, fearing that, once again, of course, severe backlash for daring to expose the truth would soon follow if their name got out there. And it's a trend we're seeing not just at Obsidian Entertainment, but the video game industry at large has turned into this cult-like mentality of blackballing anybody who dares speak out against the ideology, the message. Yep. The information they've shared with me is honestly pretty troubling, not just for Matt Hansen, but
That's true and insane. By the way, the whole of the gaming industry is in a recession because, look at Avowed. Even before it was confirmed that this is going to be a woke mess, people were not going to buy it because it's $70. Double A company makes game. $70? I'm sorry, are you insane? I'm not buying that. $70, I don't even think it's worth your hard-harding it. Honestly, at this point. That is just insanity. $70. Double A game. And it's the same with the Indiana Jones, the Great Circle. Turns out that game is somehow not woke. Now, the game is still a 5 out of 10, or a 3 out of 10 if you're being really, strict with it. Because, it's effectively just Dishonored without the abilities and with worse stealth mechanics. But still, it's not somehow woke, and yet it's gonna be a disaster. It's already a disaster. Currently, the peak amount of players on Steam is 9K. Yeah, no one wants to risk spending 70 or $90 on a game that potentially is gonna be woke. Okay? No, because of all the disasters that we have had for, like your 70, 90, 100, $120, gamers no longer feel... I don't know about you, but even if I was a millionaire, I would not feel comfortable spending $100 on a modern AAA game. Because it would be just too painful of a waste, probably.
Entire environment that's been created over the past few years at Obsidian Entertainment, and it paints a very grim picture of what life is like now at one time, one of the industry's most beloved game development studios. As with all my coverage with the video game industry, this insight I'm providing in this video is for informational purposes only. Please do not reach out, contact, or in any way, shape, or form harass any of the people I'm going to be naming in this video. The best way for us to fight back against the broken ideology is to simply shine a light on it and let nature run its course naturally on this. It's the only way, it's the best way, it's the right way. I've been sent a series...
Since Trump won, literally every major thing in America is pretty much just overnight shutting down their Vogue bullshit. I mean, Walmart fully shut down their Vogue bullshit. Microsoft's on the same level. Now, you can talk about Bridge if you want, but at the moment I'm keeping Bridge out of all of these conversations. But I mean, everything except the game industry and except news. Those are the two main things that just kind of hunkered down and tripled down even after Trump won with their BS. Everything else is just like, oh yeah, Volk, we don't no longer do DEI. It's insane.
Series of Slack messages from Obsidian's internal communications revealing a hostile and very toxic work environment led by none other than Matt Hansen, Obsidian's art director, someone who I've talked about in great detail in multiple videos previously. He oversees many employees at Obsidian and by all accounts fostered an awful atmosphere where ideological conformity is not just encouraged, but demanded. And if you step out of line or dare question it, you're the next person on the chopping block. The internal Slack messages reveal a disturbing trend of certain employees at Obsidian banding together to ridicule and berate not just Elon Musk, but also going at Grums on Twitter.
Oh god. The Elon Musk. It's probably. I love these people who call Elon Musk stupid. I just love them. The amount of times you need to roll 2d6s and get a 12 in a row to become as rich as Elon Musk is statistically unviable because the universe is not old enough for a possibility like that to naturally occur. Okay? And yet you have these people who are calling him stupid. It is insanity.
These people have Grum's derangement syndrome and Musk derangement syndrome. They cannot stand people on the other side of their ideologies.
Yeah, I have seen the Grums thing. I haven't seen the Elon Musk thing, but I have seen it before, okay? People are just completely wild and stupid. And the Grums thing is, I actually see it on Twitter. I don't know. I don't think I even follow, honestly, Grums, but he just shows up on my Twitter feed constantly. And there's just always, anything he says, there's some kind of woke lunatic who is gonna say he's wrong. It doesn't matter what it is. They're just gonna say he's wrong. And then provide no reasoning why. The current is like Grumps posted about Marvel Rivals doing good. And people on the left are, but it's a free-to-play game. It has Marvel tied behind of it. Yes. Then why do most free games not even get 1/10 of the player base Marvel Rivals got? Why do other IPs based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe not get even a 1/100 of the player base that Marvel Rivals had? But yeah, sure. I mean, blame it on it being a free-to-play game and IP. These people are insane.
And with some of the things that are said here publicly on the Slack internally at Obsidian is pretty sketch. Schwa Alvarez shared the photo that many people have already seen where Elon Musk was pointing out how pronouns were in this role-playing game and how pronouns have no place in role-playing. And instead of them talking about this and trying to maybe put their heads together and reevaluate what the gamers want, they are celebrating it internally on their Slack channel, where Schwa Alvarez says, "We've done it!" Clapping, 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 sharing the image of Elon Musk pointing out how there's pronouns. And then Schwa follows it up with, "Let me know if this is too political and I'll delete it. Just thought it was funny getting a shout out from the man himself." And honestly, taking a step back here, sure, it was out of line to share this, but at least Schwa was like, hey, if this is too political, I'll take it off the Slack, because honestly, they realize it's probably pretty unprofessional to share this and talk like this. They're just trying to own the chuds and can't help but celebrate it. But this goes to the toxic culture that's been created there, because Justin Bull replies with, This is a badge of honor. We did well. And everybody
See
celebrating it
him.
with emojis and replying. And you notice a trend with all of these people I'm sharing, for the most part, include pronouns after their name. It's pretty curious that the odds of all these people have pronouns and they just happen to all work together. Or have they cultivated this environment making sure that people have gotten through the process?
You can obviously guess.
And that's one of the steps you have to pass. You share pronouns, and then you're accepted into this cult. Daniel Chamberlain replied with, "I've never been more proud." And Jay Turner said, "Hey everyone, pack it up. We lost Grums." Think about this for a second. This is an internal Slack conversation, and this is what these people think about. Instead of focusing on making a great game, they're looking at how do we take down Elon Musk and own the chuds and make Grums.
If he was not gonna say it, I would have owned the chuds indeed. Ah, those blasted chuds! And their infallible invulnerability to everything that we say. Yep, pretty sad.
Look bad, and like this is how they're approaching their work? Where did we go wrong? And Hello Rosenberg said, "LOL, this was..."
Well, I mean, there was this situation where unnamed particle accelerator got turned on and then kind of everything turned to shit.
Literally my suggestion bug to add pronouns to the menu. I do this. And then follow it up with, "I kept forgetting what pronouns we picked for our QA saves." And
by the way, this is an insane thing to say that it was someone's suggestion to add pronouns, because in Avowed you can't even not pick them. Okay? They're just there and they're forced on you. That is insane.
Wanted to make sure our gendered dialogue was picking the right pronouns, which, coming from someone who was a former QA tester, I can speak to this and say, okay, I might be able to understand and grasp at that stage of the game. But keeping them in after you've done all the QA goes to show that you really don't need the pronouns in there. It was something for the testing, potentially required, but putting them in and leaving them there is just giving people who don't want them a giant FU. Olivia Burkhead shared the photo of triggering conservative snowflakes is so hot right now. And Matt Hansen comes in, and you would think this is when a leader at a company would say, all right guys, having some fun, okay, let's bring it back to work, let's focus back on what we're doing here. We had our little jokes aside with this, and we're good with it, but okay, let's focus on the game, right? No, of course not. This is...
look at that. You can tell that he actually has worked in a company and seen these things, because this is how it does happen. Everyone starts shooting the shit, but at some point someone has to say, okay, let's fucking get back to business, bitches. And yeah, obviously that did not happen here. Well, it is what it is.
Matt Hansen, this rules. I am fully giddy over it. Good going, everybody. And people clicking the evil Patrick looking over someone emoji, 4 people agreeing with him. This is how a leader cultivates an extremely toxic work environment, by being very negative about things.
This is also how you cultivate an inner circle. And most likely in the inner circle already exists like this here. It typically exists anyway. But, this is just like making extra sure that that's important.
That honestly, on the whole, most gamers would say, hey, we're kind of on the side with Grums. We kind of agree with Elon. And even if the people who don't, many people just want a good game. It's not about us versus them and this, that, the other thing. It's just make a good game at the end of the day. And it goes to show just how in their heads we are by daring to want good video games. Bray Seal replied with, stupid will be stupid, but I'll never get over how insane of a hill pronouns are to die on. Like, if you have to pretend it's not an effing backbone of language/grammar and then argue what, you shouldn't be able to choose what people effing call you in a role-playing game? And I'm like, bro, no, that's not what pronouns are for. That's not how they work. You're using pronouns as titles, not pronouns. That's the problem. How do you not see the difference here? Well, they're a she, they, so I think that would probably explain why they're so loopy with their thinking. Matt Hansen replied, he is not a bright man.
Ooh, there
About
we
Elon
go.
Musk. Okay, so the richest man in the world, or
I'm not even gonna go into. I have talked about this way too many times. I'm tired. If people want to be fucking autistic about Elon Musk being stupid or something like all, there's nothing I can say to change their minds. There is nothing that I can explain to them. I'm just done.
or at least one of the richest men in the entire world, who has run an electric car company, runs a social media company, runs a robotic company, an AI company, and has his hands in a lot of different areas of everything of society, and is trying to push society further, go to Mars, create SpaceX. Like, this guy has done more things this.
Well, to be fair, as Black Science Man put it, but what is the return on investment going to Mars? Great stuff.
Far in his
Hey, but that's why he's Black Science Man.
life than half of humanity combined together up to this point. But yeah, sure, you can just say, Elon Musk, he's just an idiot. I just think he's really dumb. When in reality, the fact is, Matt, you are jealous of Elon Musk's success, and because it flies in the face of your ideology, you're calling him dumb. Jeremy Tedisco replied, "Can luminaries have negative luminance values?" And Peter,
This, by the way, does tie in perfectly to what I said at the start about all of this, because again, they just need their opposition to be wrong, and they don't care that they can't even prove that they are wrong. They're just gonna say it's wrong because that's what they need to believe in.
Peter Wano,
And the irony, of course, by the way, is this: most of these people are atheists. Yeah, most of these people are atheists, but the way they handle these things, the way they portray themselves, the way they look at things, is nothing short but zealous belief. Pretty hilarious and hypocritical.
replied with, "Isn't that a dimwit?" Which I guess now they're doing dad jokes against Elon Musk because they're all in agreement that he's not intelligent. But what these people are forgetting is this is a public Slack channel that people are chatting on at Obsidian and partner networks that are in it. So people all see this. And these people are so indoctrinated with their own propaganda and ideologies that they just think everyone is in the cult with them. When in reality, they're not. And they're not accepting of this kind of approach to life. John Winnicor replied with, "Not too late to add a rat creature to the game and name it Elongated Muskrat that indistinctly mumbles something about pronouns and drops shoddy blood-soaked emeralds when you stab it." Which, I mean, I'll be honest, I'll give him credit here.
That's good though. Shoddy blood emeralds, my favorite though. Hey, a diamond not bathed in the blood of the young? Is that a diamond? I don't think so.
Actually,
That's pretty
funny.
good, yeah, though.
Except when you consider that that's a person, and now you are putting their name on them and trying to murder them in a game and make light of it. Which I got to take a step back and be like, where did we go wrong here? Where did we lose our way with making the RPGs fun and having a good time with them instead of...
About if you want to put a rat in my name in the game that drops emeralds or a poop even, do it. I won't complain. I'll actually be happy. Do it, please.
Force injecting ideologies into the game and trying to get a win just to own the chuds at the end of the day. What are we doing? These leaked messages from the internal Obsidian Slack reveal an environment where ideological hostility takes precedence over any sort of professional behavior. Employees are competing in taking...
Yep, that is the thing. Ideology takes precedent over everything. That's why ideologies are, so bad in a lot of cases. Because there is no such thing as where an ideology doesn't take precedent over anything that's being done. And so on. So is that all the messages? Oh, no, that's a tweet. Anyway, that's 10 out of 10. Smash JD, bellissimo as always. 10 out of 10. Bye.